Hello, everybody. Joel Heitkamp here. Thanks for going another mile with us at kfgo.com. We had a very interesting news and views today where we had an interesting conversation about forum communications. One of the things we talked about was conflict of interest in journalism. And it was a fair conversation. It was a conversation that, quite frankly, needed to happen. It was a conversation where we talked about Lloyd Case. Now, Lloyd Case is the CEO and president of Forum Communications. That means he's the boss. That means the one that does all the hiring and firing and decides who's going to keep working there and who isn't. His wife, Ellen Case, who worked for him years ago, Ellen Case now works for Congressman Rick Berg. See a little conflict here? You're the head of the biggest communications company in the state of North Dakota, and your wife is working for the congressman. I was contacted by individuals who work through Forum Communications, who quite frankly have had it up to here, with Lloyd Case telling them what they can and can't do, what they should and shouldn't write when it comes to Rick Berg. And they were a little tired of the fact that because Lloyd's wife was on Rick's staff, that now they had become the mouthpiece for one individual candidate. These are people who consider themselves journalists and people who print facts. They don't just sit there and say, oh, gee, we're going to be a PR stunt for a congressman. That's what's going on. And it's been going on for a while. We've tried to point it out, never really understood the connection until, quite frankly, somebody pointed out to me that Ellen Case was, in fact, a staff member of Rick Berg's. To not have that disclaimer at the bottom of every editorial, gee, we love Rick, gee, we think he's great, and we thank him for this food, and oh, by the way, the boss's wife works for him. To not have that disclaimer at the bottom really already puts them at risk. But editorial pages are one thing, but articles are a whole nother. And so all I'm asking you to do when you get anything through Forum Communications is question yourself what the motivation is behind what you're reading and what you're seeing. And also maybe call Forum Communications and say, you know what, leave these reporters, leave these journalists, do what they do best, which is print facts, instead of what the boss's wife wants them to print. Now, I'd be remiss if I didn't thank everybody for showing up for that great KFGO picnic. Never had a bigger one. Over 1,600 people served in our parking lot. That says a lot about KFGO listenership. That says a lot about you as a family, and it also points out that KFGO is your radio station. Thanks for coming. It was great to visit with all of you. I'll see you next week, and great riding with you. It's good to be with you right here on Another Mile at kfgo.com.